Joining us now out of New York is Jim Kavanaugh, political analyst and a blogger for more on the story. Hello, Jim. Hope you're safe and doing well out there in New York. The regime could have very well opted for peace, a permanent ceasefire in Gaza, and put an end to cross-border clashes with the Lebanese resistance movement Hezbollah along the southern Lebanese border, but it opted for escalation and more aggression instead. From your perspective, why is that the case?
Well, because Israel is determined now to put an end to the Palestinian question, which means getting rid of the Palestinians in Gaza one way or another, either by killing them or having them expelled and emigrate, voluntarily emigrate, so to speak. And they are not going to allow the other Palestinian resistance forces in the region, Hezbollah, Ansarallah, Iran, to prevent them from doing that. And what they're saying here is, first of all, not only in Gaza, they're going to do it in the West Bank too. What they're saying is, if you don't stop attacking us, and if you don't stop letting us, if you don't let us do what we want to the people of Gaza, we're going to eliminate you too. And in fact, that's what they want to do. Israel has been itching for a war with Iran for at least 15 years. They have been preparing for it with the United States. And they're going to keep ratcheting this up. There's not going to be any stopping to this escalation. What they're saying to the Palestinian resistance throughout the world, that means in Gaza, in the West Bank, in Lebanon, and in Iran, is watch us. We're going to destroy you bit by bit unless you try to stop us by force, in which case we'll destroy you all at once with nuclear weapons, etc. That's a situation, I'm afraid, that we're in now. And unless the world powers come in and stop it. I'm glad to hear France and whoever it was, Italy, might be talking about Security Council intervention. And I saw that I think Erdogan said that the General Assembly should call for military intervention. That's what has to happen. And if it doesn't happen, Israel isn't forced to stop this somehow, it's going to ratchet up. And it's a very disastrous situation, grave situation for the entire world, but certainly for Iran, which I know Iran and Hezbollah have to make decisions about this, but they're going to get killed bit by bit. They don't strike back. I think everybody sees this.
And Jim, how do you see where do you see the U.S.'s level of complicity and role in all of this? You've seen leadership out of the White House, including Anthony Blinken, Joe Biden, opting or imploring the regime toward de-escalation, accepting that July 2nd draft, that July 2nd ceasefire that the regime failed to accept, and it opted obviously for escalation. But the U.S. could do more if it's really sincere in getting the regime to cool it, accept a Gaza ceasefire, put an end to all of this, get its captives, and get out of Gaza. Why doesn't the U.S. use as leverage? Is it all theatrics for the rest of us that it's really that there are fractures between Biden and Benjamin Netanyahu, or do you feel that they are sincere, these fractures?
Well, whatever the fractures are in people's minds and in their rhetoric, there are no fractures in policy. And again, there will be no fractures in policy unless someone's forced to do something. The United States is a Zionist country. The leadership of the United States, congressional and executive, is committed to the Zionist project. They know, Israel knows, let's put it that way, that the Zionist project is on the line here, and a question has been called about that, and this is a struggle for the future of the Zionist project. Now, there are people in the American administration who have these fantasies about some liberal Zionism, and there are these good Zionists and the bad Zionists, and the Zionists want, and they know that they're not going to get the Palestinians to agree to this, so their subjugation. That's what October 7th proved to them. So they're going to fight for it, and the Americans will go along with them, and until something blows up in their face that they can't ignore. But kid yourself not. Kamala Harris, Donald Trump just gave a speech, and when he talked about how his big Zionist donors, the Adelsons, spent more time in the White House ordering him around. He literally kind of said, they told me they kept coming every week telling me what to do. And they were in the White House more than anybody else who didn't work in the White House. And that's why I gave the Golan Heights to Israel. So, nobody's coming in to the American government that's going to back off on the support of Israel. It's like unconditional, determined support of Israel. Israel knows that. other world powers are going to have to step in and make Israel and the United States afraid of the consequences. I don't know how else it's going to work out. It's extremely, extremely dangerous.